Hello everyone and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, where we watch every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I'm Sean.
And I'm Tennille.
And today, we're back with Rankin Bass.
We sure are in the 1967 film Mad Monster Party? ?
And that's the thing. Half the time they have a question mark and half the time they don't.
No, but like even the Wikipedia page lists it as with a question mark,
But
the IMDb, but the posters and promotional material from the time don't.
So it's really confusing.
Yeah, and I don't know why the movie, when it comes up with its title screen, has the question mark.
I guess they didn't want to confuse people?
I'm confused.
Whatever.
I don't know why it's a question.
No, I don't know why it's a question either, because it's a monster.
Mad Monster Party.
It's a party involving monsters, and it makes me mad. So, the title is correct.
Okay.
It's a comedy about all those monsters you know, like Frankenstein, and the werewolf,
Yeah.
and the vampire.
I mean, it's a
and
parody.
the mummy.
It's a parody movie of monster movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got the creature from
The Black Lagoon.
the Black Lagoon.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and
Yeah.
not Igor.
Yeah. Okay. Starting off with this Rankin Bass film, I want
Also
to say,
Frankenstein's monster, because...
and not Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, no, instead it's just some other...
She's literally called Frankenstein's wife, or
monster's wife.
Monster's wife.
Because...
But she's not Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Which is odd. And she's voiced by Phyllis Diller, which is interesting. This film has the talents of Boris Karloff, Alan Swift, Gail Garnett, and Phyllis Diller. Quite a few people. And then they've got other people impersonating other famous actors in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the main guy,
Ugh.
the main guy, Alan Swift, is Felix Flanken, who is doing an impersonation of James Stewart.
Ugh.
So he's got the, oh golly gee, man, I guess we gotta go get the doodly bop and the temperature.
I got allergies.
I got allergies.
No, wait, I'll stop having allergies.
And then the not Igor is an impersonation of Peter Lorre.
Mm-hmm.
And not just in the voice acting, but also in the way the puppet looks. Which I'm wondering, it's like, did Rankin Bass have to pay any royalties for that? Because that seems like something you'd have to pay royalties for if you're trying to, like, have a person in a movie whose likeness is the actor.
It's parody. It's parody, Tennille.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they did pay royalties to do that, but still, it seems...
Yeah.
I know if I was this actor, I would not be thrilled with this caricature of myself. Anyway, you want to go into the plot?
No.
No.
But okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Frankenstein, the doctor, Dr. Frankenstein, not the monster, because that's something people should know.
But it's also not Frankenstein. It's Baron Boris von Frankenstein, who's voiced by Boris Karloff.
But he's supposed to be
Yes.
Frankenstein. A version of Frankenstein.
Yes.
Either way, he's made multiple animate people, but he has now discovered the power to destroy things. Yeah, that's sort of easy.
I mean, yeah,
honestly.
he's basically discovered atomic bombs, but in a vial.
Yeah, it's like, Oh, cool. That's already been discovered.
Like, awesome, great. Okay.
Either way,
So
he's going to throw a party.
He's going to throw an anime convention for all of his monster friends at his house.
Yeah, where he's going to reveal who is... Because he's also going to retire.
It's basically the plot of Hotel Transylvania, but Dracula is just Dr. Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And the human is Frankenstein's nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the daughter of Dracula is instead Dr. Frankenstein's hot secretary.
Yup.
So there you go. There's the basic plot.
All the monsters want the person that will take over Frankenstein's work to be themselves.
Yeah.
And he's going to give it to Flanken.
Yes. That's his plan.
His nephew. Some random piece of crap. Human. Garbage.
Who he's never talked to before or seen.
No, never.
And he invites without letting him know anything that's going on. So he, bumbles into the island, and this guy...
Oh, golly gee, are you okay? I'm hilarious because I'm a bumbling idiot. Also, achoo! Achoo!
You scared the cat.
I have allergies. I hate... Okay, this is one thing that... I'm honestly okay with the art direction
Of this film?
That
was one thing I wanted to say.
Except...
Yes, I know what you're going to say, but that was one thing I was going to say about this film, is the art direction's not bad at all. Rankin Bass is getting better and better. Their animation team in Tokyo, Japan, doing the Animagic process, is also getting better at animating with the stop-motion puppets. Mm-hmm. It's still not great.
But it's significantly better than it was.
But it's getting better, and, that is commendable. There is a weird shift, and I guess it worked for this film, but there's a shift to make the puppets more realistic.
Yeah, and it's darker because it's a monster movie, so it's supposed to be like a thriller, not horror, but like a thriller-esque color palette.
Mm-hmm. And I think it works for this movie, but it also makes the character designs more boring than in some of their past films. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like some of their past films had better character designs, but these are also good for the film they were made for. So I'm kind of on the fence on how to feel about them.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to Felix...
Felix has one very specific mouth. And I hate this mouth.
It's too big.
It's too big, and the lips are too there.
And, that's another thing. The mouths in general in this movie are poorly done, especially on Felix and on Phyllis Diller's character...
The monster's wife.
The monster's wife. It's off-center.
Yeah.
Most of the time, and not all the time. It's not like she's got a smirk going on. It's like...
Just slightly off.
It's like she was put in the microwave for 30 seconds and her mouth is just moved off to the side in some of the animation. Mm-hmm. And it's really distracting.
Yeah. Either way, they all show up at the island. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be the person that will get the power. That will
inherit the island and inherit the power to destroying things.
Hijinks ensue.
The one who's really upset about all this is
the secretary.
Boris Karloff's secretary.
What is her name?
Francois.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Isn't this the second movie with the name Francois?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Wasn't the girl in Cyborg 009, also named Francois.
Oh my gosh, she was.
Was Francois just a really popular hot girl name during this time period?
It might be.
Now I want to double check that her name is Francois. One second. Oh, Francesca.
Francesca.
There we go.
Same idea.
Yeah.
She's this red-headed, very voluptuous lady.
Just made of curves.
Mm-hmm.
And just like every inch of her body spews evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like they try to kind of like, ooh, is she gonna... I don't know if it's supposed to be a surprise or not if she's evil.
But it's very obvious.
It was just like really obvious that she's gonna be evil. But also, as soon as she walks on screen, you're like, oh no, she's going to be the love interest for Felix, isn't she?
Oh yeah.
And
of course.
And this movie doesn't surprise you in that regard. She most certainly is.
She's trying to kill him through the entire movie.
Yes. So her plan is that she's trying to get the monsters to side with her to kill Felix so that they can split the profit of the inheritance of Frankenstein.
But at the same time, the monster, or more specifically his wife, feels like the monster should be the one to get all the inheritance because he was his first creation and should therefore be the one in control. And the vampire, Count Dracula, is playing both sides at the same time.
Yeah.
Until eventually everyone turns on Francesca and she has to run away. And then
she runs away. She's still planning on killing Felix at this point, mind you. Like, she was just voicing her passionate opinions about how he should be murdered in cold blood.
And then he saves her from drowning.
Yeah, and then they turn on her. Felix saves her from drowning.
She's going ballistic, and he slaps her. She keeps going ballistic. He slaps her again, and then she's like, I love you.
It's literally a slap kiss.
I don't care if this is a comedy. This is horrible writing.
Oh, yeah. And then she sings a song, because this is also a musical, y'all. Then she sings a song about how there has never been a stronger love. Except between them. Thanks, I hate it.
Can I throw this chair through a window?
No.
But I feel the need.
So anyway...
This is a horrible trope.
Then...
I hate it.
Then they plan on escaping the island together. Francesca throws out any indication that she wanted to kill him at all in the first place.
So then they're escaping through the jungle together, running away from all the monsters. And they almost get away, except they're cornered at the last second. And once you know it, it appears. They didn't get the rights to King Kong. So they just call the new monster it, but it's very clearly supposed to be King Kong.
Right.
Giant monkey shows up, once you know it, captures the girl, wrecks the castle. I thought he was going to climb to the top of the castle. Instead, he decides to climb to the top of the mountain, which is a volcano.
I think because the models don't match up. Like,
yeah,
it would be
the
really
size
hard.
is not big enough.
Yeah, it would be really... I'm guessing that if you put the King Kong model by the castle, it wouldn't make a good imagery. So they instead made a different model of a mountain. And before, there was a very brief scene setting up that
Dr. Frankenstein
has planes for some reason. And so, yeah, Dr. Frankenstein
flies
one of his planes. And you'd think it'd be Felix, since, you know, it's his love interest that's been captured by King Kong. But no, Frankenstein tells Felix to run away. And so he does.
And then Frankenstein saves the day by blowing himself, all the monsters, and King Kong, and the entire island up. With just enough time for Francesca to get off the island, saved by Flanken, who's waiting in a boat off the shore.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, no, and then it's revealed.
Oh, wouldn't you know it, Francesca is also created by Dr. Frankenstein. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, because...
Why else would she be on this island of monsters?
And we haven't even touched on all the pointless scenes that are in this film. Or the fact that the Peter Lorre character keeps hitting on Francesca in the most inappropriate and uncomfortable ways possible.
Like, he keeps... Because you're not supposed to know that she is also been created. They keep referring to her as though you should know it, and it's like he should have given
as though she's property.
Yeah, it's like he should have given her to you and stuff like that. It's like that's gross. No. Stop it. Oh, she touched me. Oh, yes.
I don't like it.
I hate him. Also, there's like a 10-minute scene where they're going over the food that's going to be at the dinner party. This goes nowhere. It's there for...
It's just padding.
Padding with bad jokes. Was there any jokes in this movie that you actually thought was funny?
None that I can remember, but I feel like there was a pun here or there that I was like,
I honestly can't remember any either. All of the horrible tropes and...
The two big things that, like, stick with me about this movie is the literal slap slap kiss leading into Love Song. And the end of the movie where Felix is like, Francesca, you and I, we're gonna leave this place and we're gonna go home and make lots of babies. He literally says, like, we're gonna get married and we're gonna make lots of babies. And she's like, oh, Felix, I can't give that to you because you see, I've also been made by Dr. Frankenstein. And then they do this little gag where they imply that Felix is also made by Dr. Frankenstein.
And then the movie
where he starts
repeating.
No one can be perfect. No one could be perfect. No one can be perfect. And he just like repeats and just like...
As they zoom out and the end comes on screen.
It's one of those things where it's just like, you know, in any other movie that might be funny, but this just almost feels like they didn't know how to end the movie.
Oh, they obviously didn't.
So they just...
did that.
Ended it. With that. I feel like if it had been set up in any sort of way, maybe that could have been a cool payoff.
But there was no setup for that at all.
No.
Comes out of nowhere, which is not funny.
It's just like, oh. Alright, the movie's over, cool.
Rankin Bass is still terrible to women. There's at least one racist stereotype. With this guy.
I mean, but it's a caricature of an actor.
I know, but like... Okay, if nothing else, he's still a sleazy, awful, gross guy.
I still don't like it.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. I mean, apparently this movie's kind of had a bit of a resurgence as like a cult classic, but...
I mean, I can see it. I
understand why, because, like, this is a very niche genre.
Of dark comedy monster movie.
Well, yeah, like, the monster movie fan base doesn't get a lot. Yeah, it doesn't get a lot. So, you know, you gotta take what you can. Yeah. But, man...
More better movies need to be made.
Yeah. I'm sorry. But, this is all you got. I
don't know what else to say about this movie.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Rankin Bass has been one of our least favorite content creators so far on Animation Pilgrimage.
What? No, really? Because, we've had, a one-off bad movie here or there, but they have pretty consistently made movies that have made us very angry or just...
bored us to tears.
Bored by it.
Yeah,
Some of their least offensive stuff is their their Christmas specials.
Mm-hmm. And I still don't like those. Mm-hmm. It's just when we watch these films, I have to try to look for things that I think are okay. Like try and look for things positive to say about them.
I like Boris Karloff's puppet in this movie.
Yeah. This is probably one of the last times we'll see, or the last time we'll see Boris Karloff, because
he's getting pretty old, isn't he?
Yeah, he dies in a few years after this. Because this is 67, and Boris Karloff, I think, passed away in 68.
Okay.
So this is one of his last films. And I think, I did a little bit of research. I could be wrong, but I think Boris Karloff, one of the reasons he did these films is late in his life he wanted films that he could take, his grandchildren to see. So that's why he was doing, these...
more of these kid
family films. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And, and he does a good job in them.
He's a very good actor, so he knows what he's doing.
I just, wish they were better.
Mm-hmm.
Better films around him.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're a fan of the monster movie genre,
I guess check it out.
And you're really looking for something to to satisfy the need of references to the thing you like.
Vaguely dark humor. Vaguely. I mean, at the time it was probably considered dark humor. Now it's just considered...
Yeah, who knows? Maybe a lot of Rankin Bass, too, is just, comedy that has not aged well.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's very possible, because of all genres, comedy is one of those that almost always ages the fastest.
Yeah, it's you can make a joke today, and... in 10 years, people won't understand or find it funny.
I mean, in a few months, people won't find it funny.
Yeah, especially in the age of internet.
Yeah.
You make a reference,
comedy ages extremely fast. But anyway, that was Mad Monster Party. Check it out if you want, but I'm not recommending it personally. Next time on Animation Pilgrimage, we have Jack and the Witch, a toy animation film. And yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Toodles.
Bye-bye.
They're playing your song, honey. Let's dance.